This day was once in a decade. It was unbelievable.
I'm Dan Muntz and welcome to Aclassic. I recently sat down with Taco, AKA Adrian Kovacic, and went through three of his wildest stories. First one being a solo session out at Bronte that landed him the cover of Tracks magazine. Second one was a recent run-in with Wedding Cake Island. And the third one was a story back from 2017 when he did a strike mission to Skeleton Bay. They're all pretty epic stories, so let's get straight into it. First thing I want to know is, where did the name Taco come from?
It's been many years now. It was like when I was around 13, when I was a grommet down the beach at Bronte, and all the boys were giving nicknames to people and stuff. And they were just rattling off names, and then they came across Taco and it just stuck. And it's stuck ever since. The only people who call me my real name are my parents and my sister. That's it.
Hey, it could be worse.
I know it's great, but it was more so the catchy name.
Yeah,
It was just a mention in passing, and it just stuck.
the good ones do, mate.
So yeah, that's how that evolved.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good, mate. But I wanted to get that out of the way. But we'll kick off. Tell me a bit about your life, your upbringing, where you're from, and when you originally found surfing.
Mate, I grew up in Bronte, Sydney, Australia. I started surfing when I was about 7 years old, and it's cliche. Like, I remember my first wave, and since that first wave, like it's just everything just clicked and stuck and became a passion of mine. And so yeah, I've been surfing ever since. And growing up in Bronte, we have a strong culture there. I guess it's the same with any other Aussie beach culture. You grow up with a gang and just a big group of friends down there with all different ages and generations, and we all surf, and we all push each other and stuff, so it's good. And yeah, since I was 7, I fell in love with it so quickly, and then that kind of evolved onto competing as well, and then I started to like the big wave realm.
And was that just a gradual step up, or was that something like you just went out in a big surf one day and loved it and just pushed it?
I can't really remember exactly when those surfs happened, but it was more being drawn to big waves and just the energy it brings and the adrenaline that comes with it, about pushing yourself and challenging yourself and going out in big waves and then getting a good ride and coming in and just feeling that energy that comes with it. And also a big aspect was growing up with older people down the beach. They definitely push you a bit more and take you under their wing and guide you as well.
And training wise, so how do you stay ready? Because obviously some of these waves will go through. They're just to go out in that. You can't just go out in that. How do you stay ready to just run and go at the drop of a hat when something's on the way?
Hey, you know what I tell people? I think the most important thing is make sure you're surfing consistently. Surf all the time. Like, don't only surf when the waves are good. You got to be surfing like at least a few times a week just to have that feeling and to have that bit of surf fitness. Because the last thing you want is when a big swell comes and you haven't surfed for a few weeks. And then you start questioning yourself. You're just like, oh my gosh, am I fit enough? And then all those doubting thoughts come in. And so to neutralize that, you just got to surf more as a main thing. And then you can go into other trainings. Like for cardio and surfing, I think the best is swimming. For me, without a doubt, I think that's the best where I get my best surf fitness is just swimming laps. I don't overdo it. I try get to the pool about once a week and just swim a few laps until I feel that cardio burn. And then I've done a couple of breath enhancement courses in the past with Nam Baldwin, and he's been a really good help. Really, really good help.
How do you find those courses? I actually saw one. I'm at Newcastle and I saw one coming up here, and I was thinking about giving it a go, but I don't know much about them.
Mate, they're more so, instead of having the mindset of going, all right, I'm going to go do this course and go hold my breath for as long as possible, it's more understanding what happens when you hold your breath and what happens in big waves and the expectations you kind of need to have, and what happens to your body in a stressful state, and try calm yourself down to get through those jitters and stuff when a big set does approach. It's mainly more of an understanding of how breathing works rather than, all right, I'm just going to breathe in and hold my breath for as long as possible. And trying to go from being in a stress state to a calm state very quickly so you can have those transitions all the time without staying in a heightened state.
You now, is that your whole goal, surfing big waves, or are you looking to stick in the competitions, or what's the plan?
Mate, both. Mate, I really enjoy competing. I've done it for a while now, and that's kind of, I've always been a competitive person. And so, yeah, as well as competing, I try get out in the big waves just whenever a swell comes. It's a weird thing how, like, you say, like, I'm a big wave surfer, but to me, I feel like I've got a lot more to do. I just haven't been to places that I want to go yet, you know? And I've seen so many like proper professional big wave surfers, and they inspire me, and I look up to them as well. And for me, with big wave surfing, the waves I surf, I kind of put it down to, I do my best with what I've got. I'm not a professional, so I obviously got to work and stuff, and so I just when big swells come, I just try make my time as best as I can. And the big waves I go out in are mainly around here at home. I don't get too many opportunities to travel to go surf big waves, because trying to do a strike mission overseas when you've only got 1 or 2 days to do it is really hard, you know.
Work's pretty understanding, are they? Like, how do you balance that? If it's going to be on a Wednesday, if you work Wednesdays, the boss understands what's going on, because some of these are pretty tough to hide from him if you're calling in sick.
Well, fortunately, these swells, I've been lucky with the timing of them. Either they come on a weekend, or some of these swells happen when I've already taken time off to go do a few comps, and then the swells just come in between the comps or right when I get back. But yeah, if there is a big swell coming and it's a promising swell, because like on the east coast of Australia, you can't be certing until it's 1 day out or even the day of, and then you got to go down and look at it. It's kind of not like other oceans in different parts of the world where it's more promising. So if it did happen, yeah, I just talk to my boss and go, look, I really want to go here or there, and then just see what he says. But for the most part, over the last few years of working, you know, you got to keep your communications good with your employer, and you got to do your part at work as well. And just, I think that's the biggest key is communication, and just be honest with them. You know, this is what I want to do. This is my passion, and so is it okay if I have these days off to go do a comp, or, you know, or have this Monday off because the big swells come?
So you mentioned before people you look up to
Yeah.
in the big wave sort of scene and that sort of stuff. Do you have a mentor or someone you talk to about this, or are you working this out on your own?
There definitely is an element to do it by yourself, but there also is an element. Say when I was a grommet down the beach, a couple of the older guys, they were big chargers, and I looked up to them as well, and they also helped me out a bunch of times in big surfs when I was a lot younger. One of them is Bones. As a grommet, he was a big influence on me, and how much he helped me as well, and him passing it down to me was a massive help. Well, like, say Bones, I'm just speaking to him because he grew up at the same beach as me at Bronny. He was like a local inspiration for me. And then, of course, I have all these other guys. Like, the biggest standout for me, like an Aussie charger, is Mark Matthews. He is unbelievable. My first surf out hours when I was 16, he was world class. Like, not just charging, but with how he reads the waves and how he positions himself on the wave and in the lineup and stuff. And yeah, he's unbelievable.
Grew up not far from you either.
I know. It's good.
And based worldwide, who's your, not your number one, but if you had the chance to learn off anybody, who's your one to really look up to and aspire to?
Oh.
Dropping tough ones on you now.
Oh, I know. You're making me think too much, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Oh, mate. Well, I do like the Aussie Chargers, like Mark, Ross Clark-Jones as well. He's been good. It was one of the first guys as a Grom seeing the surf DVDs come out every month in Tracks magazines, and then they have a big wave section, and he'd always be in it. And then there's guys on the North Shore in Hawaii that surf like Pipeline, unbelievable. Like when I was over there for my first time a few years ago, I watched Jamie O'Brien. He just took the whole lineup to himself, and he just kind of just dominated. Like every time he was out there, like the way he was pig dogging and his skill in the barrel was just unmatched by anyone. Yeah, it was crazy.
Mate, well, we'll jump into these waves here.
Yeah.
So I want to kick off with one that you got out off Bronte.
Yeah.
But before you go into the whole thing,
Yeah.
I've got this paddle out video.
Yeah, one of my mates sent that to me from the cliffs.
That's wild. Like, I've looked from the cliffs at stuff like that, but it's never once gone through my mind where I would think I might paddle out in that just to have a go. And you're going over those waves, and you make it, but there wasn't much in it. So what were you thinking going over the top of a couple? What was it like getting out off the rocks in the first place?
Mate, I remember it was the worst jump off I've ever had, the sketchiest. It was so big. It wasn't like a clean swell as well. It was one of those ugly days. It was overcast, it was windy, and the periods were just a bit all over the shop. It was high periods, but the onshore made it a lot more consistent. And it was just ugly. And I remember seeing it, and what I like to normally do in those situations is not wait too long to jump off. I just see a lull, and I just like to hit the first kind of one or two lulls I see, because if you start waiting too long, you start getting nervous, and then you start to get in your head and thoughts come, and you just the nerves kick in too much. So I remember, a lull came. I waited only about 3 to 5 minutes, and I just saw my opportunity, and I just ran and jumped off and just started scratching out. And as soon as I jumped off, I knew I go, oh my gosh, this could be a big mistake. I just saw sets coming, just big sets, just a big row of sets. And then I heard a few people on the cliffs kind of yelling a little bit, and I just stuck my head down and I was just scratching. And I was just like, if I don't make these sets, like I'm going to be on the cliffs, and I don't even know what that means. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to think about death at the moment. And I was on a really big board, so I couldn't duck dive anything. So I just had to stay on my board, and I didn't want to bail in case I snapped my leg rope. And if worst case scenario came, if I did cop one on the head, I would have just taken off my leg rope and just dived straight down, and I probably got washed up on the cliffs, or I'll just have to swim in.
Was a helicopter pretty close by?
Yeah, I know they deployed a chopper pretty quick. Honestly, I don't know if they could have done much to help me, even if I was in trouble. But fortunately enough, I made it over the sets, and I started making my way around the cliffs to Bronte.
And then how'd it go from there? From that to this wave?
Mate, it took a while. I remember I had one first attempt where I tried to catch a set before that, and I just got caught in the lip, and my board threw out from under my feet, and I just got smoked. And fortunately enough, I made it back out. In these type of swells, you kind of only get one chance to catch a wave, because it's just so consistent and so big that you just get washed in instantly. And the thing with Bronte, it's got no safety channel to kick out to. So you've got to be really selective with what wave you catch. And so, I tried to catch a first wave. I got smoked, and luckily enough, I had a little window where I can paddle back out. And I remember on the way back out is when this other set that stood up just perfectly. It was clean. It had a really steep face. And I was just like, wow, this is a perfect chance to go. And I just didn't really think much. I just turned around and stood up and just Felt like I went down a vertical face for about 30 seconds before I reached the bottom. I had so much speed. It was thrilling, put it that way.
Yeah, it looks it. Like diamond in the rough, that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said before, it wasn't the cleanest surf. It was just big and ugly. And I just managed to be in the right spot.
And then getting in from there, that's no easy run either, is it?
Nah, I felt like the getting in was like the second, like the whole second half of the surf, because after that wave, my board snapped. And so I couldn't paddle or anything. So I just had to try get washed in as best as I can. And in those big south swells at Bronny, more chances than not, you're going to get washed to Tama. That's exactly what I did. And if you resist it too much, that's when it can get dangerous and you can get washed into Dunny Bowl and right along the rock face. So it's our best just to follow that current and just go to the next beach. But it wasn't easy by any. It wasn't easy by. It sounds a lot easier than it actually is. It was a nightmare.
It's just you. That there's no in any of the footage or anything I've seen. There's no one else. You're the only guy out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
That was it. There was no one out at any beach close by or
No. It was just me.
one crazy taco.
Well, it's when these big swells come at home. Like I do have a bit of a comfort zone out there.
Yeah.
I like the feeling of trying to stay calm and relaxed out in big surf. And when it comes to surfing big waves at home, I do feel I have that comfort factor where I can go out in big Bronny by myself. Like I've had plenty of surfs before that one where I've been out alone and it's been raining and I've kind of been in a very similar situation. But that surf in particular, the one with the photo, that was like kind of the swell. Like I don't think I've seen waves that big break out there. And then when I saw the photo after, I was just like, oh my gosh, wow. I didn't think it was that big.
Yeah, it's a monster. Obviously, you've got that on your Instagram too, so check it out. Anyone wants to see those, they're insane.
Just after that surf, I was still spewing because I didn't get to go to Dead Man's. I really want to go surf there. I've surfed it before, not that good, and I heard it was pumping that day, and I didn't go, and I was just like, oh, screw it, I'll go out Bronny. And then that's when the photos come out. It's just like, oh, it was probably a good decision I didn't go.
Yeah, because was there fallout from that? Not bad fallout, like magazines and stuff.
Tracks got me on the magazine and stuff, and they did an article, but just before that happened, a couple of the Maruba guys went to Dead Man's, Max and Josh Koo, and they got like two unbelievable waves. And I was seeing theirs going, fuck, like, I can't believe I missed another chance. Like, my mate was texting me, going, mate, we need to go to Dead Man's, like, the next swell. And it just didn't happen. I was just like, oh, screw it. I'll just go out home then. But, it kind of turned out okay for me. I got that wave. And so, yeah, I'm frothing.
There was another one close to home as well. So that's you there on the red board.
Yeah, just to the left of the screen. Yeah, oh, my gosh.
What's going on with that?
Oh, mate, that hands down the biggest waves I've ever seen in Sydney, easily. And you'll definitely get the same reactions to the other guys that were out there as well. Like you ask anyone that went out there and surfed as well, it was the biggest waves I've ever seen in Sydney. I don't know how it actually worked because I checked Bronny that morning and it wasn't that big. It was like 6 to 8 foot, and I was just like, oh, it's not that big. Like it's big, but it's doable. But it was something about the swell being dead south, and I checked Wedding Cake, and it acted as just a massive funnel, just coming in, funneling these huge swells. And the waves that day were 20 to 30 feet. It was ridiculous. I've never seen such consistency as well in the waves, where it just didn't stop. Like sets after sets after sets. There'd be like six to eight waves in a set, and then you'd wait about maximum 5 minutes, and then more sets would come. It was like that from the morning all the way to the end of the day. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's just madness. Like looking at that, I'm not too familiar with Wedding Cake.
Yeah.
Does it come up out and then you got a channel either side, or is it just breaking the whole way across?
That day it was just breaking all the way across. Like
Yeah, okay.
normally, like I rarely surf it because it's kind of just It's a pretty shit wave, to be honest. It's just more of it's more of a novelty that when a big swell comes, that it starts breaking out there, and it's a good opportunity to get on your big board. But this day was once in a decade. It was unbelievable. Just how big it was, how much water was moving. And when it breaks, normally it's just a big shoulder of a left, and then you pull out, and then you have a big channel to paddle back out. But this day, every set was like, say you get 5-6 waves in a set, there'd be at least one or two of those waves that were closing out the bay that you couldn't really paddle wide if a set comes. Like, you just cop them on the head. And that's exactly what happened on that set there.
And did that didn't bust your board, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, that one did.
Yeah. I didn't even catch a wave. I think I was the first one out. And then I think Max and Richie kind of paddled after. And then a few others paddled out after them as well. And we're just sitting out there trying to get our bearings, where to sit, where's a good spot. I kind of missed a couple of waves, and then I thought I'd sit a little bit further in, and then that set came, and that set was easily, it was up to 30 foot, that wave. I was just like, I can't believe this is happening right now.
And what was it like, the hold down and everything?
It was horrible. There was everything about it was horrible. I came up after that first wave, and my board was snapped at the fins. I was riding a 10-foot board, and it was snapped at the fins. So underwater, I was trying to climb up my leg rope, but because there wasn't any flotation or any board, I just pulled the board down with me. And so that was the first set. And then there was about 4 to 5 sets after that where it was just on the head, on the head, on the head. And there was probably, I think, about 4 other surfers that were close by with me that were in a similar situation. And it was after about 4 or 5 sets on the head, and each set I was only getting one breath in between the waves before copping the next one on the head, and it just felt like it wouldn't drag you in. It would just keep you in that impact zone. And it was horrible. After the last wave that came, I'd come up, I'd be seeing stars, and my ears were hurting, and I was a bit shocked with how kind of ruthless it was. And I wasn't wearing any flotation either, so that didn't help.
And what do you think when you saw it was Sky Monkey got that footage, and some of his drone footage out there is wild. What do you think seeing yourself there, like, catching it on film like that?
Oh, well,
Look worse in person, I bet.
in person, you'd sit on your board and you'd look up and you'd see a mountain coming, and you're just a moving mountain, and a crest just about to break on your head, and you're like, oh, I cannot believe this is happening. That's exactly what I was thinking in that moment. I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. Be able to cop me set on the head, and it did. And then when footage came out, it's just like, wow, like, it looks that big from that angle as well. Normally, if you have a view from above, it can kind of look a bit smaller. But this footage from Sky Monkey, wow, it did some good justice.
And what about, did you get to see any of the body surfers out there? I saw Corey Sainsbury was out
Mate,
there.
there was one body surfer, yeah. And
I thought there was 2. Is that Kalani fella out there?
mate, I didn't really get a chance to see him. I just paddled out and got smoked and got washed in.
Should have taken the leash off and had a go at body surfing.
Oh, nah, I'd pass on that. After that wave, one of the boys, Max, he let me his board to go back out in, because he said he was going to go get his tow board because it's too big to paddle.
Yeah.
And he goes, mate, you can take my board out and have another go. And yeah, I was a bit hesitant to paddle back out because it's just like a flogging. It was just that sheer size, and everyone was struggling. There was only like 3 or 4 paddleways ridden the whole day, like almost too big to paddle. And so I went back out, and then the same thing happened again. I copped another set on the head. I was like, mate, this is ridiculous. And there was a stage I was out there by myself going, oh my gosh, this is ruthless. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get in. Like, and the wind was so bloody strong. And mate, I just, one wave popped up. It wasn't the biggest wave, and I was just like, screw it, I'm turning around and catching it. And I finally caught one after having 2 surfs out there, and I just went straight in. It was a day too. I remember that one. That was unbelievable. And to all the guys that went out there, that was a huge effort, a solid effort.
Yeah, there was a few I saw. Like Richie was out there, Corey Sainsbury, he was out there body surfing.
Well, mate, Richie came out just after I paddled out first, and he got washed in within the first like 10 minutes of being out there. Like, it was that consistent. If you'd paddled for a wave and miss it, you'd most likely cop the next one on the head. And so, yeah, I think in between my first and second surf, I watched it for about half an hour, and everyone was just kind of doing the same thing, just struggling to be in the right spot, getting caught inside, trying to take off in a wave and just getting smoked in the lip. And there's not enough speed, or it closed out. It's just, yeah, it was really, really hard. And I only saw a few puddle waves get ridden.
Yeah, it's a wild one, and I'm glad you got it all. Well, so much of it on film too, because no one would probably believe you. Because that's just you wouldn't believe that is in Sydney.
I know. It was crazy.
So we got one more, mate. We'll jump to a lighter note.
Yeah.
Strike mission, Skeleton Bay.
Oh, Skeleton Bay.
When was that?
Mate, that was like, oh, I think in 2017. So a few years ago now. I was doing a couple of comps over there, and there was a crew of about 5 of us that were traveling together doing the comps in South Africa. And we were having dinner at one of the restaurants, and one of the commentators from the WSL was there, and he was just like, mate, have you seen this swell coming? And we're all like, no. He goes, mate, get to Skeleton Bay. Like, it's going to be absolutely pumping. And like really big as well. It was a huge swell. And none of the boys there were that keen for it because it's such a remote destination. And there's just a lot of things that you have no idea what to do to get there. And so I called one of my mates from home who's been there before, but I didn't score it. And he took a screenshot of a map and then drew in some coloured lines of how to get there because it's so remote and it's in the middle of the desert. And I was kind of trying to G him up to go there with me, to hop on the flight from Sydney and go all the way to South Africa. I was trying to G him up, going, mate, just calm. Like, this swell's a sure thing. Like, it's going to come. It's a huge swell and it's going to be pumping. He's just like, oh, mate, I can't get the time off work, but I'll try to help you out as best as I can. And so at that stage, I had a decision to make. Like, I didn't really want to leave the crew that I was with because they were all going to go to J-Bay to surf the swell there. And I was just like, mate, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea where to go, but I just have to do it because this wave is mythical and it's going to be pumping. And so I kind of left the crew and I just booked a flight to Namibia. And I was just doing all this on the fly. I had no idea where to go. I had no idea where to stay. I didn't know where to get a forward drive from. And so I just started with booking a flight. So when I got to the airport in South Africa to get to Namibia, I was just trying to talk to as many people as I can. I was just going, mate, I'm alone here and I just need to get to know someone. I was trying to talk to a few people, and a few other guys were doing strike missions as well. Like Koa Smith came in from Hawaii and he was with his filmer as well. And I was trying to speak to his filmer, trying to get intel on where to go. And they were all kind of in a tight-knit crew. And so when I went on the plane, I was just started talking with this bloke who was across the seat from me, and we're talking about, like, whereabouts are you going? He goes, mate, I'm going to Skeleton Bay. I go, mate, so am I. And he turned out to be an absolute legend. And I go, mate, I'll just stick with you then. I'll just tee off with you. He's like, yeah, sweet, mate, sweet. And he was doing the same thing. He was there alone and he didn't really know what to do. And so when we arrived in Namibia, the first thing we needed was a four-wheel drive. And it's a pretty remote country there, and there's not much around at all, and there's only a few car rental places at the airport. And we went to each car rental place, and they were all sold out of four-wheel drives. And we went to the last one, and they had one more four-wheel drive left. And we were like, oh my gosh, we're like, how's this luck? Obviously got the four-wheel drive, and we had no idea where to stay. We just started driving in the town, started looking for accommodation and a place to stay. And we just found a little kind of like a couple of shacks to stay in. And then we went to the supermarket to stock up on some food. And so then we got up in the morning and we started driving to where we thought we needed to go. And my mate from back home was saying, mate, you need to drive past a big salt factory and a big lake full of pink flamingos. And so they were kind of the landmarks we were trying to follow, and then we're trying to get the GPS up, but because it's such a remote area, the signal was always down. So we're just driving through these remote areas with nothing around, and we see a big mountain, a big white mountain, and it turns out that was the salt factory. It was just a big white mountain of salt. And then a bit further down was a lake full of pink flamingos. And we're just like, oh, wow. And then we started to see these other cars driving as well. We go, all right, we'll start to follow them and see how it turns out. And then when we got to the edge of the desert, we had to let down the tires. And yeah, and then we were on soft sand, and we'll start and driving on soft sand for about 40 minutes. So you're driving for about 40 minutes on sand, and you can see absolutely nothing. So you're driving completely blind in the middle of the desert for about 40 minutes in the direction you think is the sea. And so after that time, we're trying to follow these old tire marks from people in front of us. And then, yeah, and so then we just eventually rocked up to the edge of the water, and then 30 seconds went by, and we just saw this left hand come, and we just saw a barreling wave just went all the way down the point, going like 50 Ks an hour. And we're like, we just crapped ourselves, and we're like going, oh my goodness, look at this shit. we freaking did it. Like it was, oh yeah. And so we just had 2 solid days of surfing Skeleton Bay, just absolutely pumping and like really big and heavy.
What's the surf like? Obviously, we've seen it. Looks
Yeah,
perfect,
yeah, yeah.
but what's it like?
It's the hardest wave I've ever surfed by far. With how much it draws off the bottom, and the wave is wider than it is tall, and there's so much suck to it, and it's so hard to get down the face. And like with how perfect it looks, it's actually really, really, really hard. And trying to get in the right spot as well is just as challenging, because when you're at the top of the point, you've probably got about, from when you jump off, only got a few minutes to catch a wave because the current's so strong. It just drags you all the way down the point. And so you try time to jump off. By the time you get from the shoreline to out the back is only about like 50 meters. The wave breaks pretty close to shore, but by the time you get out there, because the current's so strong, you get dragged about half a kilometre down the point within a couple of minutes. And so then you got to try time that to try time getting a wave as well. It's just really hard, but once you do get one, it's just so perfect. Unbelievable.
Yeah, because I've always looked at it, and obviously it looks perfect. I think there was a few boys who went there recently and got it. It was solid size too.
I saw that. Their swell looked like the swell lasted about a week. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
Every day I saw new footage come out. I'm just like, how long is this swell lasting? It's unbelievable.
yeah. And I thought, yeah, it looks perfect. But then I think it was Shane Ackerman did a good little write up on it on one of his posts,
Yeah.
and that gave me a whole new respect for it. Like what you're saying, it's not as easy as just paddle out and sit there and wait.
No, 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 no. It's anything but that. Trying to get it in the right position, and then trying to get down the face and make the takeoff and race waves. Like I probably made, oh, 80% of my waves, I just got smoked, just because how fast it is as well. Like how fast the water's moving. But yeah, those handful of waves I did make was just unbelievable. Just crazy dark chocolate barrels, and yeah, it was all worth it. But it's definitely not as easy as it looks. Like the footage you see online is just perfect waves, but it's anything kind of but that. Like you even see the top guys struggling. Like I didn't see too many waves being made. I'd see a few guys on their forehand racing, 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 and just making a couple of sections, and then the wave getting too fast. Or I saw a few going, and or bodyboarders. They kind of had the advantage out there because they could sit a bit further in and kind of get down the face easier and scoop into the wave a lot quicker than the surfers would. But overall, yeah, it's a really, really challenging wave.
Well worth the trip though.
Oh, 100%. I couldn't believe it.
Ever going back there?
Mate, if you ask me now how to get back there, I wouldn't know how to do it because I just didn't know how I did it back then. I just did it on the fly. I had no idea where to go or what to do. It just happened. And like now, I'd be a little bit more familiar, but I can't really remember how I did it. It's just like it was just a big kind of just in the moment thing.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah, exactly. It is a big effort to get there. The perfect waves that you see is just a small part of it, just a tiny part, and then the rest is a big journey of how to get there and knowing what to do to get, when you get there as well. Because like you got to factor in the things like the tides and stuff. The tides are brutal because the land's really really flat, and so when high tide comes in, it kind of takes up about half a kilometre of sand. So when we got there, we parked our car about half a K to a kilometre up the beach. And the bloke I was with, Stephen Rice, he was just like, mate, we don't know this wave. And like the last thing we need is high tide to come in and wash our car away. And when high tide did come in, we did see a few cars almost getting washed away. And a big crew of people had to come down and push the four-wheel drives out of the water. It's a crazy trip, but it's definitely well worth it. But you got to be prepared properly.
What's next for you? What's your one wave? Where are you going to go to get some big surf, or what's your dream
Oh,
monster wave to chase?
mate, I've always thought about ship sterns, and I've kind of wanted to go down there this year. But that wave, it just seems so. It's kind of known to be really hard to get on and really fickle. And like I just saw a recent swell come a few days ago down there. I'm just like, how can I not know about that? Because I've been checking charts, and then the charts change really quickly. And down there, that part of the ocean is always so raw and active. But that also comes with like there's always strong winds and stuff, and it's hard to get the right conditions to line up. I just want to say full respect to the locals down there. I don't want to go and impede on their wave or anything, but that's kind of a dream wave that I want to get to, and also Tahiti as well. I've never been there before, and I'm heaps keen to go.
Yeah, I've been to Tahiti. I've never been down to Tassie. I've been to Tahiti before. I never saw chopes or anything, but that place is not from this planet. It's the most insane looking place I've ever seen in my life. Just the water clarity, the mountains on the water, everything is just,
In our Tahiti, say.
yeah, in Tahiti, yeah.
No. Well, like every year, like when I see a good swell come, or when I watch the WSL and see all the guys get so barreled, just like, oh man, I got to get there. But that kind of place also seems a bit hard to get to as well, just because they don't have much accommodation there, and you got to know a local crew, like a local family to stay at. But kind of just take it one step at a time and see how I go.
Well, those Tassie crew as well. I just saw that they've got their own ski now, and it's basically saying anyone who goes there, chip in a bit of money for this ski, and it's purely a safety ski. Like the waves that crazy, and they just keep it decked out with a defib, which is a
Yeah, I did see that.
damn good idea.
Yeah, that's a good initiative as well to have that safety ski just for every good swell that comes there. It gives a bit more insurance to the guys that are out there surfing with a bit more of a safety factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like with those places, I'm going to have to get skunked at least once or twice before I score it. I think it's part of the journey to get down there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure when you score it, mate, it'll be well worth it.
Definitely.